Hey everyone, this is Larry with Today I Feel Like. Today I want to talk about whether or not you should buy an iPad mini or you should buy an iPad Pro. Now, they all will run the same apps, but this one will run some a little bit better. This one is obviously more compact and pocketable, but let's talk about the differences. So let's jump into it and here we go. All right, first thing, let's talk about performance. And both of these iPads are going to perform really well with just about all the apps that are available to them. And to be perfectly honest with you, now with this one, the 7th generation iPad mini with the A17 Pro, I can get Final Cut Pro on here, which was the one app that was missing from the 6th generation. So now, for me at least, this iPad runs every app that this iPad does that I need it to run. However, this one has the A17 Pro chip. This is a 4-year-old iPad that has the M1 chip, and this one still runs apps much better. They're smoother, they're more fluid, and when I run Final Cut Pro on my iPad Pro, it doesn't crash. With my iPad mini, it will run. The app will run and I can edit with it, but almost every single time I use Final Cut Pro on the iPad mini, it crashes and I have to restart the app. So if performance is a major consideration, I would still stick with the iPad Pro, but if it's not a consideration as much, then maybe consider the iPad mini. But let's move on. Now let's go ahead and talk about size differences between these two. This is the iPad Pro 11-inch. This is the mini, which I believe is about an 8-inch screen on here. As you can tell, there's a big size difference between the two of them. So now the screen sizes, also a fairly considerable difference in the screen size. Now, one thing I like about the iPad mini is that it is pocketable. You can actually stick this thing in your pocket. It's small, it's light, it's very portable. But I'll be honest with you, the only time I stick this thing in my pocket is when I'm trying to prove a point that I can stick it in my pocket, because I just never do that. And ultimately, the 11-inch iPad Pro is sort of the perfect combination of size and performance, down from the 12.9-inch and up from the mini. And even though I can't fit this in my pocket, I never do anyways, and it's really the perfect size to throw in your backpack or in your purse or a briefcase or just about any place that you would carry your iPad. Now, the next area I want to talk about is storage, and there is a pretty big chasm between the two, between the mini and the 11-inch when it comes to storage. And I don't know why Apple thinks this, but Apple assumes if you're going to buy a mini that you don't need much storage, and this one maxes out at 512 gigs. Whereas with the Pro versions, you can go all the way up to 2 terabytes. That's right, 2 terabytes. In fact, this is a 1 terabyte version, and I can only get half of that on the mini. Now, the reason why that's important to me is because, well, I'm a content creator. I take a lot of photos, I shoot a lot of video, and if I'm shooting with other cameras, one thing I like to do is actually dump my footage onto my iPad so that I can format my cards and then keep shooting. And sometimes I edit directly from my iPad, so I like to have room to actually dump my footage onto my iPad so I can directly edit from the iPad, and then I can transfer everything off when I'm done. It's much more difficult to do that with my iPad mini, because if I'm shooting with a 512 gig card and I fill it up, well, that's the entire storage of my iPad mini, so clearly I'm not going to have enough room to put all my footage on this little guy. But on my Pro, I have more than enough space. Now, the last area that I want to talk about with both of these is gaming. And because both of these have really impressive chips in there, you can get console level gaming with both of these iPads. However, I would say if you're someone who plays more handheld style games, then the iPad mini is going to be much more comfortable for you to play handheld games with the iPad. But if you're someone who plays higher end games that require a controller, then you're probably going to enjoy the iPad Pro much more than you would the mini. Now, the very last thing that I would take into consideration with these two iPads is the price. And whew, there is a big difference between the two of them. This one starts at $499. This one starts at $999. So the mini, $500. The iPad Pro, $1,000. I mean, you're talking about twice as much for this. Now, with the iPad mini, you're only going to get 128 gigs for that $499. And for the $999 with the iPad Pro, it's not like you're getting much more. You're only getting 256 gigs. So you're getting twice as much, but still not much at all. Now, you can really run the prices up on both of these. You can go up to 512 gigs on the iPad mini 7th generation. That's what I have. That's $799 for the Wi-Fi only, or you can go up to $949 if you want the cellular version on this. Now, the iPad Pro has some extra options that will drive this price up even more. So you can go all the way up to 2 terabytes with this, and that's going to put you at $2,000. It's going to put you at $1,999 if you get the 2 terabyte version of the iPad Pro 11-inch. Now, you can still drive up the price even more by getting the nano textured coating on the screen. And if you go with the Wi-Fi or the cellular version, that's going to drive it up to about $2,299 or around $2,300 for your iPad. That is just straight up bonkers. But if you want the nano texture, you want the 2 terabytes, and you want the Wi-Fi cellular, you want the whole shebang-a-bang, it's going to be about $2,300, but you can do it. And if you're someone who uses your iPad as like your main computer, maybe it's worth it for you. But between the two of them, there is a massive, massive price difference. All right, everyone. Well, there you go. Those are some key differences between the iPad mini and the 11-inch iPad Pro. I hope this will help you make your purchasing decision if you're thinking about getting one or the other of these. I think they are both fantastic iPads. And I'll be perfectly honest with you, I have the 11-inch that is 4 years old. It's the M1 version. And I have the brand new 7th generation iPad mini. I kind of think I wasted my money on the mini. I think I probably would have been better maybe just trading in and trading up and getting the latest version of the iPad Pro. But even then, I don't think I need it because the 2021, version with the M1 chip, it works just as good. So there you have it. Anyways, I'm going to leave links to everything down below in the video description so that you can check them out. I'm also going to leave links to my Amazon page and my social media contacts so you can reach me elsewhere and say hello or ask me any questions if you have them. And I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up and please subscribe to this channel and follow me on Instagram. And I am Larry with Today I Feel Like. Thanks for coming back to see me. Come back and see me soon. And until next time, love, peace, and hair grease. Peace.